So, as I said before, this has been changed. So now we have the starting trade rate with Quetztlan. Quetztlan. Yes. And it will buy cacao as well as pottery. You start with more money and you don't need to spend the initial money on opening the trade route, so that is quite a bit. And other than that, you have this rock, which is actually super useful. Maybe it can be replicated. Yeah, that's what I was hoping for, but regular scenarios didn't have that. So, who knows? We'll be playing slowly. I don't feel like rushing anything today. This is supposed to be a chill stream because in the evening we'll be playing the contest map, and who knows what's that gonna be like. Heretic Fox, welcome. Your opinion on StarCraft? You mean StarCraft 1 or 2? Because StarCraft 1 I only played a demo of when I was a kid. I never had the game because I was not... StarCraft was not particularly popular here. I was more Age of Empires 2 guy. But StarCraft 2 I've played plenty of times, even on stream. I like it, but I'm not enjoying much micros, so multiplayer is just not for me. I'm just a move guy. I've done playing their villains for a while. I think so. I wanted to play Age of Darkness, which had a campaign recently added, but it is broken. It has so many bugs, and the campaign itself, the game is like straight up. I need to pause and talk about this. The game is straight up their billions copy pasted into fantasy setting. But problem with that is they didn't actually go with their billions campaign. In that there is no research tree, there is nothing like that. So the whole feel that I was enjoying just is not there. So if I play a game like that, I would return to their billions. But I'm not good enough to do like soldiers only, nor would it be very interesting, I don't think, just going with like one unit. But I would be up for playing the campaign regularly again. I wouldn't mind that, because it's a very, very good strategy game. I just need some sort of incentive to play it, so I guess if people want it, we could. It would take like maybe a month to play through it, if I focus on it a lot, but I definitely like the game a lot, and I will certainly play it again. I just don't know when. Yeah. Perspective Games says, okay, well, in case you bump into the text overlay crash again, please save every year or two and send the save file. Yes, of course. I'm sorry I didn't have it, but if I remember, I will save the game and then send it over if I run into it. I'm gonna read the Discord messages as well, but just not yet. If it's nothing too important, I saw you did send some messages. So, some simpletons. We will build a well-dipper as well as a sweeper, and then we'll start with the industry. Aren't urgent, okay, great. Gonna read on that after the stream. So these are necessities. After we have this, we'll start with the clay and timber and stone, as we did before. Then we will do a kiln, then we'll do a hunter, and then see what the housing wants. By the way, how do you tell years? Oh yeah, this is probably when you are in a windowed mode. I think that's the issue. For me, it's cut off in the top when I hover over the date. I'm not sure if I noticed that before. I'm not sure if in OBS it looks like. Yeah, I think that's the problem with windowed mode. I don't think that would be a problem if you were playing full screen. This is day 84 of year 1. since founding of the city. So this is how you can tell it. Okay, it's useful. Sweeper is done. Just wait on the well dipper. We shouldn't be adding anything new yet. Just keep a reasonable amount of tasks for them to do. This should hopefully result in some small huts, or crude huts. And I think it's time to add some of that industry. So I'll be doing clay pits. Gonna be doing 2 of these to start with, and we'll be doing a porter yard, porter stop rather, here. It's gonna accept clay and get timber. And let's take a look at sawyers. So put a sawyer here, and we'll put a sawyer just adjacent to that one. And this will accept timber. We'll add stone as well, but first we need these things to be done. If you just go to the save game options panel, you can see how many days have passed because it's baked in the save file name. So saving every couple of 100 days is what I tend to do. Okay. So if we go and save the session, it will tell you the day. Yeah, right. That is also useful. 18,300. That's. I was playing that for a long time, clearly. So was the Xoconochco scenario, which is the peaceful one. Improvements are under construction. This one, I'm gonna reduce that to 8 units, and we'll be not getting any clay here. So you'll be adding some kilns, but not yet. Let's add a couple more housing plots on the side. Some crude huts. Was enjoying our Bannerlord streams a couple of months ago. Would you ever consider the Europe campaign map mod, or is it too buggy? I didn't play the campaign map for Europe in Bannerlord ever, so I don't know how buggy it is, but it seems interesting. I'm not sure if the factions are also tailored around it, or if it's just vanilla factions in it. And I'm not sure if Jake played with that. I think Jake was playing just regular Caleredia, right? But Bannerlord is interesting. However, for my audience, I think most people didn't really enjoy it much. So I'm not sure. I do like the game because when there are still things to do, I like it a lot. What I don't usually enjoy is when you get to the late game grind. The game wasn't exactly great then, but they keep adding things, which is good because recently I always read the updates when they release a new version, and I've seen that they added a bunch of stuff to the late game, and I'm always a fan of that. I also like when they add new options for cities, how to manage them, new culture stuff, everything and anything is good. Mods are also great with that, but then again, if you have a version and you have mods you like, if they do a new version, it's gonna break all the mods usually. And getting that is a pain, since Bannerlord isn't the most stable of games, so you have to use Harmony and other mods to ensure it works, and then you need to nitpick through the list and find out which one is outdated, and it's a real pain to figure it out. But I would consider playing with the Europe map probably. I never played with that, but I wouldn't mind it. The Caleredia one isn't exactly great. It's not bad, but you know, I think Europe might be more interesting. I'm not sure if the factions are tweaked in any way though. Hopefully we'll have enough labor. Looks like the sawyers have some workers in them. Clay pit is working. This is not having workers. Same with this. Just give it a little bit of time. I really want that stone cutter. But I don't want to overwhelm the economy. We also don't really have free timber or clay yet, which is a bit of a problem. There's some here, but we need this to be working. Okay, there's a little bit of clay there. They seem to be bringing it over even if it doesn't actually have a porter, which is good. Because as Perspective Games has mentioned before, the workers from a building will actually also deposit resources from them to somewhere. It's not just the porter doing everything himself. So that is useful to know. We do have some clay. Looks like there. We need some timber. And we have some. Okay. Let's go ahead and build that stone quarry. I really do want it. Making it here, and we need to figure out how this is going to look like, and I think I'm gonna want it here. Yeah, because I can put a sawyer here. I'm gonna keep this for temples, I think. It's the day. Yeah, let's make a save. We have some small cottages now. Religion is gonna have to wait a little bit. But I would like a hunter soon because of military reasons. So after we get some clay and timber, I will probably build a granary and a hunter. These people are evolving. But maybe we want kilns first. It's tough. I think we'll have the labor. Let's get 2 kilns going. Connect this up. And that means I'll have to go with more industry. And a sawyer here. It's gonna be a strain on our population, but we have some free space still. So it should be fine, hopefully. Because money is vital, we need to make money, even though we have some. I think the first attack is fine to deal with your basic units.
From the comfort of my villa, I perceive life here to be very good.
Hey, you can welcome. Thanks for the prime. Good morning to you too. It is almost time for lunch, isn't it? Today evening we'll have another map from the contest. I'm not sure which one yet. I might have to just, you know, I'm probably just gonna spin a wheel of misfortune on that and just let the wheel decide. Or we could decide with chat again. I'm not sure which one. Okay, traders have come. Spinning a wheel also sounds exciting. Does it? It's even more random, it is. But random isn't my favorite way to decide things in my life. It's just, you know, need to have some way, and I don't really have a preference. Chat can vote once there's only one map left. Very high trust in society at large, I see. No, I wouldn't blame me. But you'll see. This Sawyer isn't getting many trees at all. I'll just relocate him. And let's wait, I need this to be functional. Maybe we start the hunter. Yeah, let's start the hunter already. I want one there and another one here, but that's for later. Because we also need a granary, which I don't know where to put. Because it needs to be close to farms, which farms are gonna go here. But it also kinda screws up with the roads. I guess I'm gonna put it here. It's not the worst place. Just surrounded with roads, I don't want to do anything else around it. Anyways, it's gonna accept meat, maize and fruits. We can also accept cacao in it. And then we can cart it over to sell here. Cacao. Reduce that maize import a little bit. Just 8 stone is gonna be enough. I completely overslept today. I stood up half an hour ago. It's not good. But yeah. I'm just, you know, my sleep schedule has been horrific before, where I just would go to sleep at like 5 a.m. And now it has flipped, where I just go to sleep very early and then wake up at 4 a.m. So the exact like opposite of what it was. It's still pretty horrific because it means it's gonna be like 18 o'clock and I'm gonna be very sleepy. But then we'll have to play the map. I feel bad for voting and I'm in the competition. Yeah, that's why I'm saying we can do the wheel. But voting on which map goes next is fine. I'm just going with the mainstream vote. That is not very cool. Okay, let's put down a collector. I'd like it to be elsewhere. It's just he hates most places. I'm just gonna put him here. I'm gonna have to play all of them so it doesn't change anything. No, it doesn't. So, you know, it's fine. I want you to play my map. Yeah, but... yeah, it's just... you know... it's difficult to really have that vote with so few people around. I'm not nowhere near close to what Zach has as an audience. So... in here, every one of you matters a lot more, so it's kind of bad for the votes, especially the ones for rating the maps afterwards, but I still want to do it because it's important. It's called chat interaction, we need it. I want to build a shrine now. Tlatoani it is. The god of industry. Midastro Tart lead us the way. Just Darth Marek over here. Yeah, clearly. That's what you get if you don't use your democratic powers. You'll get Darth Marek to decide everything for you, which is gonna be for the greater good, but you know. Even a benevolent dictator is not preferable, I don't think. Depends on your preference, but that's why we have the votes, to give you power. If you don't want it, I'm fine with it. I can just make all the executive decisions myself, but then you cannot complain, because, you know, you had your chance and you didn't use it, so you cannot scream about tyranny. Let's make some cacao. Four, 5, 6. Cacao. And we will connect this to the swamps. I'm just going to go this way, I suppose. But voting not would work when there's less maps. You could spin the wheel. Yeah, I could even spin the wheel now. You know, it's better if you have more options on the wheel, so it doesn't look like just two sides of the wheel. But it doesn't really matter. If it's just two things, you can still spin the wheel. It's just gonna be split in the middle. Be for the greater good, and I'm the greatest good. Clearly, yeah. We can scream about your tyranny. Well, maybe you can scream, but no one can hear you. But no, you need to use your powers of democracy. If you don't do it, then they will be taken away. The greatest good is weapons. They're so expensive. Clearly. Especially when you are selling them to the natives. What could go wrong? Just mass arming them. Just several worth of legions sold to the natives each year. What's the worst thing that could happen? Let's put down some plots. Let's make sure this one covers everyone. I'll want an academy or Tlapukale. Just need to figure out a good place for it. Which I believe this is a decent place. We'll want a second hunter fairly soon. But maybe only after we do the farms. Now I want to make it possible by events to script native uprisings based on how many weapons you sold them. Yeah, that would be something to consider, because like it doesn't really make sense that you would be just mass arming them. Like selling a little bit would not really be a huge issue. But usually Romans on occupied territory would be very, very mindful of the natives doing anything like arming themselves en masse, or, you know, they would especially not endorse just making an industry to sell them weapons, unless it was sort of an auxilia training exercise or mass recruiting, but then they would be provided weapons by the state and taken away. They would not keep the weapons in terms of just like in their village, because that's just asking for trouble. Had spears which broke when thrown, so the enemy couldn't use them. You mean pila? That is actually not... I mean, it's taught in schools even. I think we were taught it in school as well. And it was pila, which... it wasn't... The spear was... javelin... it was not a spear, it's a javelin, because spear is stabby stabby, while javelin is throwy throwy. Yeah, you would not be throwing a spear. Spear is like 2 meters long. Javelin is more like a meter and a half, usually. So these would be, Roman soldiers would be carrying javelins on them since Marian reforms as a standard equipment, because the the idea behind it was Rome was fighting a lot of hill people at the time, and they had need for ranged units as well as infantry, but Romans specialized in infantry. So in order to counter terrain difficulties, phalanx formations were not doing well, because up until this point Romans were fighting phalanx formation, and that deals horribly when you have to cross like hilly terrain, because you get the formation broken up. And so they would develop the Marian system, which was a manipular system, which is you have specific units equipped in a certain way, and you don't have phalanx formation anymore, and the formation can actually advance even through rough terrain and keeps the formation. And along with that, they wanted each infantry unit to be able to defend themselves and attack with ranged weapons, and so they would use javelins, which were called pila, and these would not break on impact, but the deal was you would make enemy shields useless by either on a charge, or if you are standing in formation waiting for the enemy to charge you, you would throw these javelins, and they had lead as and tin as their components, and that would cause them to be be heavy, and B, the tin would cause the javelins to bend over when you stuck in the shields, and that would make it so that the shield is basically heavy and useless, cumbersome, and you would just throw it away as an enemy and charge at the Romans without the shield. Rather than straight up inflicting casualties, it would keep, of course, injure and maybe even dispose of some enemy attackers, but usually it would just, you know, make the shields useless. And that was the idea behind it. Also, you couldn't easily throw it back, but you could still do it if you know, just bend it. You could basically use anything, but the point is, we don't even know. This is just what I was told as well in school, but if you actually do any sort of research into it, I don't think this was really a thing. Maybe it was, but it like makes sense, but then I think they didn't do it on purpose. I think the materials were just kinda ramshackle at the time, so they just kinda, you know, that was a side effect, not really an intent. But maybe it worked and then they stuck with it, I don't know. I know that late Romans used plumbata, which is a dart. It's not a javelin, it's just as a dagger-sized dart that you would have several in them in your shield, and you would throw them at a distance as well to do similar sort of effect. So they eventually opted out of javelins as well, which is interesting. Vino Paulo says, speaking ancient Rome, ever checked out the YouTube channel Historia Civilis? Yes, that is a very good channel. They are very knowledgeable on a lot of the things Rome and all of the things Caesar. I very much recommend it. It's by no means completely comprehensive. There's still more to learn, but it is a very, very good channel. Why would they use that much iron if it wasn't meant to be like that? They could just have more wood on javelin and pointed iron tip. Yes, that is correct, because ancient and medieval people were practical to the extreme, where if something wouldn't work, they wouldn't use it. Like this point about armor, like you see in popular culture, people with swords cutting through freaking plate mail. Yeah, if it was like that, you wouldn't bother with the freaking armor because it was expensive as fuck to make. So, you know, we know it worked because you try to cut with a freaking knife or a sword through a slab of metal. You're not gonna fire well, even against chainmail. But so the point about the javelins, I'm just not convinced it was the main intent about it. I just don't know, because the deal is, like, you would also use the javelins as impromptu spears when fending off cavalry. That's something that they also did. And I just don't know. This seems to me like it was not the main intent of the javelin. It just seems like we imagine it was more intentional than it really was. But I might be wrong. Like, of course, it might have been the point about it all the way. But it seems like it might make sense, but at the same time, I think we give them too much credit. I think it's just kind of ended up being like that. But that's a good point about the material side of things. Like, it's not practical to use like 5 times as much metal to make a single javelin, because you could make 5 javelins and just add more wood. and just have the tips. But then again, for balancing and like aerodynamics, the javelin probably works much better if it is more metal as well, because if it's just a lot of wood, I don't think it would perform that well. But I really don't know. I never researched this specifically. There are probably videos you can find on this, but I think I've seen at least one that agreed with what I'm saying. But I cannot really remember which one it was, so you're gonna have to find it yourself if you're interested. I'm gonna have to build an oval compound now. Where do we build the nobles? I kind of feel like building them here. Scenic neighborhood, right? I'm just gonna put him there. It looks like the resources are looking better already. Bandits beaten. Okay. We need another kiln, I think. Okay, enemies. I just have 6 soldiers, so let's put them here. The hunter is done, but we don't have people working there yet fully. Higgins sends a link. Just peel him, Roman spear, yeah. And it is from UNRB, which is... what is this? This is University of Roman Culture. Yeah, and it says the same thing about the shield as I told you. But it's not a spear, it's a javelin. That's a big difference. Like, yeah, you can use it as an impromptu spear, but that's not what it was designed for. Spears were also used by some Roman units, and spear is much longer. This is a javelin. So they already have that wrong. There is much debate amongst historians about whether this was deliberate design, feature, or a happy accident with the bending of metal on the tip. Yeah, it's what I told you. Like, there is not a single person that could absolutely tell you with 100% accuracy that it was like that. Yeah, that's like, they have some stuff in there that's kind of questionable, like calling the javelin a spear, but they also tell you the same thing as I did. So I'm not a historian, but I've watched and listened to and read a lot of things about this, so I probably know more than most, but still cannot tell you absolutely with certainty that it was made on purpose. I'm not convinced. I enjoyed playing Dune Spice Wars and plans for that. I don't know if it's gonna be leaving early access. They added a new faction, which I did play in single player off stream a little bit. We suffered no casualties. Dune Spice Wars is decent. It is kind of prone to RNG a little bit because you rely on the game serving you a good map. Like, it depends entirely on the map generation, where the spice fields get generated and what kind of things you have around you. Some villages are just much better than other ones. And so there is that kind of off-putting factor of just you relying on luck. But if you get a good map, it's a fun game. I like the feel of it since I like Dune. But I'm not sure how much it received in terms of interest, in terms of our community. I think it was sort of a not that interesting for most people thing, but I liked it. I would like to play it again, but I would probably want not mods, because I don't think there are mods for it, but something more substantial, like a huge update that would come, that would have something good. Because the Empire faction doesn't seem bad, but I'm more about the economy. So we will see. I did play it off stream as well, because I do enjoy it. I just, for streaming, I don't know if many people enjoy that. That's kind of a thing we need to think about as well. It was more of bad my English. I definitely meant throwing weapons. Yeah, it's fine. I'm sure you can make a difference between a javelin and a spear. Since you hang around here, you probably can remember my ramblings a lot, so it wouldn't be expected that we would call that differently. But it's interesting how they even cite that like that, because I mean, it's not completely incorrect. There are several instances where Romans did use those javelins, pili, as spears, but it was always in sort of a improvised fashion. You wouldn't really have it as a preferred thing you do if you value your safety, because it was very dangerous. Because as it is not as long or, you know, made for anti-cavalry or anti-elephant warfare, it would be tougher to use it in such a role. You don't have a license for your history knowledge. Now I'm obliged to ignore your unsanctioned and untaxed knowledge. Yes, I'm sorry. But we don't. If I was to go and study university, I would definitely pick history, but I just don't want to learn things that I don't care about. I only want to learn certain things. I couldn't stand just learning something I know it's gonna be useless for me, and that would be like 90% of stuff I would be learning. And then I wouldn't even use it, because there is no job in that field. Like, what would you do? You know? So I'm just gonna not bother. But I'm pretty certain I could do university if I wanted to, but in here, maybe in the West, or like more in the West, it's a little bit different with university, where it's pretty much necessary for everyone to have it. In here, you need to think about if you are gonna use it a lot, because not everyone needs it, and most people would just be wasting time and money getting it if it doesn't actually get them anything substantial in their work or anything like that. And a lot of work doesn't require a university title here, at least. But it is more and more going towards that as well, where over time, like when I was a kid, it was definitely more like a smaller percentage of people had university titles, and now it's shifting more and more towards like social sciences and people having useless titles that they just a person has a university title of social sciences and works at freaking McDonald's. That's where it shifted to, but like it doesn't actually change anything, because you're not gonna advance your life in any way by having that title if it's in a field that's absolutely useless to you practically, you know? Today the first Dune 2 by Villeneuve trailer will be revealed. Okay. Dune 2 mean the movie? I guess you mean the movie, because they made a recent one. It was decent. It was Dune 1. Recreated one, because there were some movies that were older. Not bad, but I think that recent one was decent. Same over here. People that went with artisan skills, carpenters, plumbers, are actually doing better. Of course, yeah. Like actual physical skills like that are very valued here now. So yeah, actually it turns out that people who didn't get that good of marks or anything at high school or whatever, or elementary school, now are doing much better than those who are doing university. Which is kind of weird, but it's not universal truth, of course. Some people still do well, but Again, you need to study the actual field that's gonna advance you in any way, which is not guaranteed in any way, shape, or form if you study something that doesn't have a market for it. I want this to be a temple. Let's do Tlaloc. Hundreds of thousands of koruna later. You can have a degree in history and still be Twitch streaming for occupation. Completely agree with your stance on university. Yeah, it is very, very pricey as well. Because usually a lot of schools here are actually privately funded now, which means you have to pay to go to them. And it doesn't actually matter if you do that well. Just, you know, you need to pay. And the rest will all kind of happen. Which is questionable, but that's how it operates. If you go to a state-funded school, it's more about what you know and how interested are you in it, how much effort are you willing to put in it. But then history itself, unless you want to be a teacher, it doesn't actually have a practical application. So it's a bit of a shame and waste of time to do. Let's get an alcove as well. And I want another hunter, I think, and maybe let's take a look. I'm gonna start importing a little bit of obsidian. We want to sell cacao, yeah. And selling pottery. I didn't start doing that yet. Okay. Now we should be having some pottery in stock. Yeah. Private schools take a fortune. It's unbelievably. Yes, they do. Even the ones that are reputable and not a scam, like they actually require you to put in effort, which some of them are still like very, very prestigious. It still costs you a lot. And as I said, like practically you need to get something out of it, like a career advancement or something like that. Otherwise it's kind of a waste, I feel like. I had a choice of going into history or STEM. My dad told me to pick the one that actually earns money. Yeah, that's how it is. Also, very few people today, or like even in history, if you were to ask that, but even today, very few people actually do what they enjoy for their life and occupation. So you need to realize that it's not very common for you to be able to do what you enjoy for your work and to put the bread on the table. Which is a bit unfortunate, but that's just how it is. At the same time, we as a society, like we fill niches. Like you have so many options today that you just wouldn't have in other periods. And still we really don't have the option to do what we enjoy for most of the time for most people. But I guess that's just how it is. I wouldn't say that I had that experience for most of my life though. It's just the last part of my job where I worked for 10 years, the like 3 years, the 3 last years were horrible, but the rest was good. I actually believed in what I was doing and you know, I enjoyed it because it had a purpose. But then I found the last years were horrible. Because when you don't have that, it's just, I find it very hard to motivate myself in that case. You also need to import Magwe, but not yet. We've built so many things, we need to give them a little bit of time. Just get everything done. Oh yeah, we need to start a festival. I'm gonna save the game. Just in case we have some shenanigans happening, we can get a festival going. Which is gonna be sweeping and cleaning. Repetitive, yes. And I'm gonna save it again. I'm gonna try to crash it with the tax income. Yes, it does happen. I'm gonna send a save file. Just give me a sec. This is for the bug. Saves. Gonna boot the game back up. I've seen some estimates are that AI will end 80% of all occupations. If you are looking to only make money, get into physical field like mining, otherwise do what you love and try to get paid doing it. Yeah. But I think 80% is a little extreme. I would believe a lot of jobs are gonna get cut like that, but I don't think it's gonna be quite as extreme. Maybe eventual, like, depends what the estimate is working with as in terms of when, you know. But it definitely will be like another industrial revolution basically, because it will put a lot of people out of work, that's for sure. It just depends how quickly it will happen. Also, what are people gonna be doing? Like, if, you know, we will not need as many people, that's gonna be a problem. Because how are you gonna employ them? It's important, like, for society at large, you need people to actually be earning money and rotating money in economy. If you do everything for free with AI, like even if you somehow tax the service or whatever, you still need most people to be able to do what they need to do. And also just having jobs or doing things, like having an occupation is important, because your mental health relies on you having some sense of being useful to society. Hey Pizza, welcome. Thanks for the raid. Speaking of Dune, I'm giving 50% chance of Batarian Jihad. Yeah, no problem. I'm glad we managed to replicate it, even though it's a crash. We kinda... I kinda wanted to get it to happen again so that you can take a look at that. Hey Pizza, thanks for the raid. Welcome. What were you playing? Was it Three Kingdoms? Total War? Let's take a look. I'll have to reduce timber a little bit and maybe stone a little bit as well. And we will accept Magove. And we'll build a couple of cloth weavers and a brewer. And we'll put down a porter stop. It's going to accept pulk and cloth. It was... I was... Okay. It was Three Kingdoms Total War. Did you enjoy it? I'm sure you know the game quite a bit. I've seen you play some other games. The last one we talked about was very interesting. The one that seemed like it was a Total War game, but it was not. And it was about medieval Japan. It was really, really interesting. You also did have quite a good knowledge on the medieval Japanese culture and, you know, general society. And also all the people in the game, because I have very, very little knowledge of that, but it's very interesting. Nobunaga's ambition, yes, that's it. Jake was talking about make work pay that he witnessed in Japan, paying retirees to mine crosswalks and whatnot, the same thing as creating a bunch of water fountains since he's there to keep the population working. Yeah, basically, that's what I was thinking about, like you need something, and just handing out money to people is not gonna work either, because of that aspect I talked about. You need to feel you are actually useful and contributing to society, because that you need that. It's part of your mind that needs to be satisfied for you to be fully happy. You could just live off handouts, but you will always feel like you are a parasite, basically. So instead, you need to come up with not only just handouts, but you need to come up with something that actually gives people a purpose and something to do. Of course, a lot of people could focus on like culture or whatnot, but not everyone can do that. Like you have so many people that just are not really good at anything and they need to get something to do. I don't get that feeling, just give me money and let me do as I please. Yes, but in like a year's time, you would be begging for not for a job, but for a purpose in life, you know? Why do you think all the rich people who don't actually do anything, they like do investments and stuff, but they also struggle with like they will spiral into depressions, they will become obsessed with just, you know, things like that because they lack purpose. It's what happens. You need that. If you like it or not, it's part of you. It's there. You just don't really realize that it's there until you miss it. Going to bring that back with the big story campaign at Osaka next week. Okay, that's interesting. I think I would like to watch some of that. It looked very, very interesting. As I said, you also know quite a bit about that, and medieval Japan is something I would like to know a lot more about. I'm just so lazy, and I also have many more like things that I want to know about. So I just learn about the stuff I'm interested in the most. And medieval Japan just goes on the sidelines a lot of the time, but it's so interesting. It's just, you know, one of the most interesting parts about like 16th, 17th century world, because of how isolationist Japan worked, while at the same time like world was going through industrial revolution and everything later. But even before like Portuguese arrived to trade, you had various things in society in Japan that would just absolutely conflict with stuff that was happening in most of the world, and then how they dealt with that and how shogunate worked. And even like after they had the Great War, right? And then afterwards you had the period of peace, but that period is also very, very interesting because how did they maintain order like that? They had some issues with Christians as well, I know that. Humans crave purpose for sure, they do. Desire for purpose depends a lot on your personality. Big 5 personality trait, consciousness. Yes, it does, that's for sure. Because you do have some people who will be willing to take it even now, when you actually like are required to do something in society to advance it. But you will never be fully it is necessary part of your being to be happy. Even if you don't realize it, even if people are like, yeah, I don't need that and I will just, you know, take the money and do what I want and you never will bother me again, it still will be a lacking thing in their mind, no matter if they realize it or not. It's something you need because that's how we evolved, that's how you work. Because even freaking cavemen had society where, you know, Unga was good at doing this, well, Bunga was good at doing this, and that's why we fill niches, and we are building a society that works like that. Even if you put it in modern terms, like you need to feel like you are part of the society and you are helping it along, even if it's just looking after kids or whatever. You know, it doesn't matter how small the task is. It needs to be something that's appreciated and actually is benefiting the group as a whole. Because otherwise you will lack that. Even if you don't realize it, you would be a sociopath if you didn't have that in you. And, you know, absolutely vast majority of people will have that in them. I'm extremely lazy. Let me read, play video games, feed birds and such. Yeah, just, you know, my role in society is to make you all pissed because I'm gonna build a giant bird feeder. I'm gonna make the birds shit on the entire neighborhood. Yeah, I get it, but deep down you would still want something that would give you that feeling of fulfillment, that you're actually being useful. Put them in the pods. Yeah, that would be I forgot the name. I know what you are referencing. It's World Economic Forum guy. It was one time I mentioned him several times and then I completely forgot what his name is. But yes, it is. You will live in the pod and you will love it. You will eat the bugs. Yeah. What's the name? I cannot remember. But yes, that also goes against human nature, and therefore will be doomed to failure, because, you know, matrixing people up will not work. The order was maintained by crushing the power bases of the regional warlords, hammering them back to one castle per province. There were also sword hunts, as well as crucifying a lot of Christians and outlawing Christianity, as well as outlawing foreigners. Yeah, all these things are very interesting. I did read about some of that, but not all of it. The sword hunts, I guess, confiscating weapons, but samurai were maintained as a highest caste in society, I suspect. And so even though there was no warfare for like 200 years, they had to maintain samurai class in society. And at the same time, they were revered, like they were shown respect more than any other caste. Well, people like traders were supposed to be even below peasants, if I remember correctly. And you would have like no warfare. So the samurai were like, they weren't allowed to do any trading, nor many other things, but like you were stuck with your class if you're born in it. So it's kind of, how did they maintain that? Close mode swap, maybe. I don't know. It's someone else. Who was it? The Vev said, you will own nothing and you will be happy, I think. Oh yeah. That mimified as you will live in the pod and you will eat the bugs. Yeah, correct. All of this is correct. But I don't think it was the Schwab guy. I think it was someone else. But I might be wrong. But let's just abandon that topic entirely. It's fine. We talked about that enough already. So we grow some cocoa. We grow some maize. Hopefully that's gonna be enough for our needs. We have some magwe, which we will process into cloth and pulque, which is a drink. We just need this porter stop to be working. We're pretty close. Clearly, yeah, maybe that was him, I don't know. I don't remember. Because we talked about it a lot and then I just kind of forgot it happened. Who knows? I'm gonna want to build a stela here, and they will want a security post, I believe. Let's sentry post, let's build it. In here it wouldn't really work. I could replace this garden with it. Let's do that. Maybe a resource-based economy like Jacques Fresco talked about. You mean IRL? Like we talked about the AI revolution. It's about to happen. Resource-based economy like Jacques Fresco. I would have to look that up. I did probably read about it, but it's just so many things. Sometimes I do forget a lot. Project Venus? Is that what he did? Oh yeah. The restructuralization of the social system. Okay, yeah. I would have to read up on that. I don't actually know. Isn't that a bunch of conspirational nonsense? Apparently it's an organization. Strives for global, reliable civilization. And resource-based economy. Oh yeah, it's like cooperation of humanity in terms of like globalism to prevent warfare because you have different access to resources in different parts of the world. He was on the Zeitgeist documentary. Okay, yeah, I'm not sure. I didn't read much. I would have to look at that. But it seems like it's a bit of a wishful thinking. I think you wouldn't necessarily convince people to relinquish their hold on resources if they have plentiful resources, while some people have none. In terms of like global scale, that would be pretty much impossible to do peacefully, I think. Because even if you take a look at people like Saudi royalty, they have access to quite immense wealth of resources. And what did they use it for? Did they improve the country in general? For an average person there, not so much. While at the same time, they just grow to huge decadence. But like, they could have made the country much better in terms of, sustainability. Like, they could turn it into a place that could actually sustain itself after the oil is gone, because the oil will one day either run out or have no use for global civilization anymore. But the current, like the way they are running things, it's not really doing that. Like, they are only living off the oil. It's not thinking about what's gonna be after, which there's gonna be after one day. And it might be too late at that point to really think about how to deal with it. And so, yeah. I don't think you would convince these people to share their resources willingly with like people from other places which don't have any resources. That would be very, very difficult. Not to mention other places, but that would be a good example, I would note. Apart from that, if you take a scale of how developed a civilization is from the West all the way to third world countries, if you try to have everyone have the same civilization level or development level, you would be probably having a big problem with people in the West relinquishing a lot of their comforts and other things in terms of providing the rest of the world at least with very basics, So it is difficult as a topic to cover. I'm not sure where I stand on that, to be sure. I checked out the resource-based economy website a while back, and there was a huge gaping hole in the documentation under technical implementation. Of course, like actual implementation is just even like thinking how you would come to do that is just insane. That's why I'm saying like it has some striking issues, but as a concept, it would probably prevent some conflict if you were to find a way to do it. But even if you did, you still kind of count on, I feel like it's going into the wishful thinking category of like communists, where they were, when they took power here, of course not only here, but communism as a ideology, its key purpose was to abolish currency and establish a society that would be perfect and not needing currency or anything like that. This is sort of like it, where you discount human nature, which will always be that one will try to get better off of the backs of the other. And that's how human mind works, unfortunately. It is just the way we are. And fundamentally, I don't think cannot change that because of how, especially like nations work. Not so much amongst like regular people. If you have friends and you don't treat each other like that, but you exploit each other to an insane extent. Sometimes you can have friends like that, but if you do, you shouldn't. But in terms of like nation to nation basis, if you take a look at how these things are done, usually you don't really see people seeing the other country as a fair partner unless they are sort of a threat. So I'm not sure how practically that would work. We're likely seeing in the beginning of the end of oil, the price tag for renewable is a free fall thanks to economy of scale. Yeah, I mean, as I said, like I'm not the biggest fan of some of the reliable, and because like the current reliable energy sources, we will look at that like the first freaking car or train, just ramshackle things that are very inefficient, and you would laugh at trying to get somewhere on one of these things today. But eventually we will be able to harness the power of the sun and other things more efficiently with other advancement like freaking tokamak, just, you know, making energy out of freaking thin air, because you can utilize cold fusion, which is currently something that Chinese have been working on for a long time. Not sure if they will share it, but other nations are also working on it, I'm sure, just you don't really know about that much. But that will revolutionize energy for sure. If it's gonna be safe, that remains to be seen, but it will definitely not need us to burn so much dinosaur trees anymore if it's so bad for the planet. I was always a bit more skeptic about these sorts of things, but even I will acknowledge that it's just, you know, oil's days seem to be running rather short, and regardless of what you want or if you have any in the industry, it's just gonna happen. And of course, it's like with smoking. Before, smoking was generally accepted as a very bad thing for your health. The corporations tried to retain the perception in general public that it was actually a healthy practice or it wasn't detrimental to your health. And this is the same sort of deal, you know, where they just will try to hold on to the end to the industry, of course, because it's what's keeping them afloat. It's their thing, right? But eventually they'll need to just deal with it. I think we've beaten them off. I hope that none of them made it through to the city. That's our wounded soldier, I think. I don't think they're fighting us in the city. Let's go and make sure they are chased off. Okay, we suffered no casualties, good. Let's pause the game. Disband the troops. A reckoning is coming soon. Those oligarchs are killing us in the planet. Yeah, I mean, that's what I said about the tobacco companies. It's the same sort of deal, you know. When it was becoming clear that smoking is really bad, health-wise, they also try to hold on to their industry by any means necessary. It's kind of interesting how that came to be, actually, but maybe we talk about that some other time. I don't really want to go on a rant here, but suffice to say, the key person who designed a lot of propaganda for the US during Second World War, after the war found himself very short of work and with very particular set of skills. And he managed to find employment with the tobacco companies because they had needs for exactly this set of skills. And he was the person that yes, I think that was the name. Interesting person. You can read about his life. Like, yeah, it's morally questionable to the extreme. Especially the latter part where he came up with buying off doctors to, you know, advertise to people that smoking is actually completely fine and not bad, but actually beneficial for your health. So, you know. There's great Knowing Better video on the history of cigarette companies. Yeah, you can find all sorts of source materials for these things today, because a lot of it is known, but at the time it was not so much well known. But now you can find out a lot of information that was just not available to people before. Yeah. Renewables are much harder to make work if you factor in optimal sun wind locations and battery storage, plus there only so much lithium go around. Anyhow, I think I'll bow out of for now. Yes, I agree with that. That's why I say current renewable energy sources are... I feel like it's just not gonna work. That's why we need something more efficient to be able to transition, like tokamak, or, you know, actually being able to properly harvest the energy of sun in a way that would not require these things. We would need a better source to, better way to store the energy without using so much, you know, so many batteries, like the lithium you mentioned. And we also need better, safer way to harness it as well, but in much larger scale. The current way we do it is just not good. The wind turbines are also having gas generators in them, if you don't know, to keep them running sometimes, because wind is not absolutely reliable a lot of the time. So if you have no gas, it's gonna mean the turbines shut off as well. Not to mention there are problems with maintenance. It's quite high maintenance. With solar panels in here, there was a big push for a lot of solar panels after the Velvet Revolution, and you have like ginormous fields here, just full to the brim with solar panels, but a lot of them are not even plugged in at this point, because just, you know, it's not worth even storing the energy. If you can pump it into the network when people actually, there is a need for it, great. If not, then you would be selling it for a price that's just completely ridiculous. And so it kind of depends. A lot of people do also want to have like photovoltaic panels on their roof, and for their own needs that might work, but on a larger scale, I'm not sure. I used to play SimCity 2000 in the early 90s. I remember playing the game Change When I Could, finally build fusion power plants after 250. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. We need something like that, because currently the renewables, like, it's good effort, but it doesn't actually solve the issues. So while it would be great to not have to rely on dinosaur juice, we kind of have to for now. I'm pretty certain. And like nuclear, yes, also has some pretty bad things that could happen, but overall, and of course the nuclear waste is not good, but overall it's, in terms of resource management, it is kind of necessary for now. I feel like it would be insane to abandon it now. Eventually, yes, when we get something that's reliable and really can replace this. Dinosaurs, yes. Okay, how are we doing? So what do they need? Sentry post, they have sentry post. This has everything it needs. Let's hope that it retains its coverage. I'm gonna take a look at the tower, I think. It's very expensive, but I would like one. Just to see if they work like in Caesar. Maybe a bit later. We might need more stone first, which means a new block here, so that we can harness these rocks. I'm gonna just put a road here first. What about the food? It's not looking good. I'll have to add a new shed. Do I want a road here? No. Not yet. And I'm gonna do fruit and maize. So it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Maize field. Let's get a road. I should have pushed that one tile further actually. It's actually really bad. Fruit trees. Let's get the maize field down, canal. Should be fine to deliver here. Hopefully money is gonna be fine. It still goes down a little bit because we are making quite a few imports. I guess I would be doing some weapon making so that our soldiers can actually fight effectively. I'm gonna add 2 blade nappers and we'll accept some weapons in here. I just need to cut down on something. Magway, I guess. And accept some weapons. What about our timber? Might need a new one fairly soon because the nappers use timber as well. Clay seems to be fine. The housing does have everything it needs. Improvements are under construction. Just food is gonna be something we need to keep tabs on. I think we are not making nearly enough. So I'm gonna immediately add a new one over here. Is this good? Yeah. I'm gonna dig a canal here. And plant some maize. We could do chilies actually on this one. Chili is good for variety. It's not much, but it will help. Let's accept some chili. Still going. Yes, we managed to get to the bug again. If I click on the text income, it will crash the game. But I've sent the report, so the save is with Perspective Games. But I'm trying to beat the map. It's the military one, so we'll see if we manage to do it. We need 6,000 pop, which is quite a bit. Have some large cottages now. They will want a barracks. I'll have to build it. We need to pick a good spot for it. I think I would like to dry some swampland for it. Possibly. And just put it like here. That's easy to replicate. Just put good and bad, yeah. It's probably gonna mean that it's not gonna be as difficult to fix, hopefully. And let's put another sawyer here. I'll definitely need the stone cutters here later. But now this one is all we have. It's definitely causing some issues. I think the gods are gonna get pissed at me as well for not having temples to everyone. Huitzilopochtli needs a temple, and Quetzalcoatl needs a temple. They'll need nobles as well, so I might need a new noble compound. You'll see. They like the roads around them, by the way, because symmetry is better that way. You can see the symmetry is divine now. It's gonna give them a bonus. Needs barracks, yes. They'll be getting barracks eventually. They are using a lot of resources now for just this. They want a sentry post over here. I could just build one here. It's not a huge deal. I think Sweeper... He does cover them actually. It's insane coverage for a Sweeper. Maybe that was increased because it seems like I would already need one before. Is Symmetry awarded? Romans would love to live in your cities here. Yeah, Symmetry is rewarded with temples benefiting from it. Especially the larger ones, I think. You can see the symmetry there. When you hover over a building. When it comes to fixing bugs, determining the root cause is 90% of the work. If you can replicate the issue, it helps a lot for that. Yeah, I can imagine. So we'll be getting more weapons. It's good. I also would like to start making a little bit of furniture over here. Furniture, let's put in 2 of these and let's do a porter stop right there, and this is going to accept furniture. And a bit of wood. Okay, I'm quite used to testing now since I did report a shit ton of bugs for Augustus over the time since I started playing it. And same with for Tlatoani, not so much, only like a handful of things. But I think I'm getting the hang of it, what I'm supposed to be doing. But of course, I'm gonna save again because I forget to save a lot of the time. But that's what you need to do a lot of the time, because you never know when the crash is gonna happen for whatever reason, and if there is no reliable autosave that is staggered, you might not have access to that file. Needs more nutrition. That's the food situation I mentioned. We did build 2 new farms, so I was hoping that would help us solve it. This is not very good spot to have more of that. Could add one here on this side and just stretch the road. That could help. We'll see if this helps. I definitely need more though. I guess I'm just gonna have like 2 more farms here. They should be able to reach the granary, right? Yes. I'm gonna do a little bit more cocoa. And fruit. We're just doing this, and then we can have a bridge there. This should still be fine. I could even fit some more housing over here, but I would just rather go with a new block here where we need it. We'll see. A lot of construction queued up. I think stone is our main choke point now. We just really need those quarries. I've actually built them, I think. The last one might be a bad idea. Just need like 2, that's enough. Let's get a porter stop. And then we need to bring a road out. Hopefully that's gonna be manageable for people to travel. This is going to accept stone. And then we need something that would get it. Which this one... I don't think this can get stone, really. I'm just gonna have to build a new porter stop to get it here. It's gonna get stone. And we can cancel it in here, which means that we can import a little bit more mugway, I guess. Or obsidian? Okay, invasion. Stop the game. Let's put our defenders here. Hopefully we have some weapons now, so should be able to fight it. There are too many issues. It's gonna get larger, the attacks. So far it doesn't seem that big. Maybe, yeah, okay, they are stacked together. It's like 6 or 8. These are still stacked. The troops are coming. Okay, I want to deploy them a bit further. I think they killed a vagrant, yeah, immigrant, was killed by them. Yeah, just gonna have to gang up on them. Last 2 fights we didn't really lose anyone, which was quite good. Captains are nice. Quite powerful. Can't wait when we can actually capture them. Okay, we lost a soldier. That's alright. That's what happens in war. They want the barracks. I really want it, but is it viable right now? I feel like we should wait for the stone to be ready. Making some furniture. That's good. I would also like to finish my temples, but it's too expensive for now. I wonder if we should do another kiln, but it's already full of pottery, so don't bother. I'll start to build a barracks soon. This actually has stone in it. This has people, so it is not that far. Just this needs to be built. Yeah, good. This will need to be a new block as well. I feel like, right? It might be too thick actually. Might want to shuffle the road a little bit. You'll see. Main thing is food, of course. Looks like we maintain quite a bit of maize. Money seems to be stabilizing. We did get more than we had before. Collector is doing his thing. Okay. Shrines. Mictecautl is goddess of the dead. We need to shrine to her as well. And then this Katlipoka. I don't think we have a shrine to them either. So let's put it both here. This is the lumber area, but it's fine to take up a little bit of that for this. It's like we have a bit of weapons. That's gonna be good for the barracks as well. Armor is gonna be a different matter. You'll need a new trade route for that. It shouldn't be that difficult to do. Oh yeah, I forgot to fill this with maize. Let's do that. This is absolutely full. Need a new Veldipper. Let's just put it here. It means Sweeper is also getting full. So let's put a new one here. And Alcove. Another invasion, okay. That is actually quite frequent. Set up our defenses again. I definitely need a barracks soon, because this is a lot of attacks. Let's put our barracks here. It's very, very big. Yeah, it's a lot of enemies. You'll probably lose a couple of guys. Unless they drip feed themselves to us, which it looks like they're advancing en masse. Let's see. A lot of it is obstructed by trees. I don't think we lost that much. Some of them are still hanging around the entrance. There, can we let them advance into our line? Okay, they just ran off. They saw the corpses. Okay. We suffered no losses. Interesting. It's probably because we have the weapons that supposedly helps quite a bit, I would imagine. And yes, we need more nobles. I'm gonna put a noble compound here. I want this road to be a bit different. Just have it like this. Where does it end? I think it's here where it connects. And then this will be a block, but I need to really think about how to develop that. Do we miss common workers? Yes. I think the barracks will evolve them further a bit, but we definitely will need a block, so. I feel like we could do a marketplace here. Cover it. Will it have access? Yes, it will have access to granary, which it does have quite a few things in stockpile. Just gonna put a farm here for maize, no matter if it's really efficient or not. Just gonna put a bit of canal, but not all of it. Could it use another tile actually? Looks like it. Could do a few fruit trees at least. But this side will not receive irrigation, that's fine. Hopefully we'll have enough resources to actually build this. It does cost quite a bit. We have stone, timber, and clay. Should be alright. Bandits. Our military should grow larger soon, so that should probably drive them off. Secure our trade routes. Okay, barracks is done. It does have weapons. It has everything it needs at the moment. They will probably want healthcare, right? I didn't really give them much. The sauna has intensive use. I will give them a new one over here. And also a herbalist already. I feel like we should do that. We have some herbs. Yes, we do. So that's gonna help people. You could also do a dentist here. Another attack. This is quite frequent, I must say. But we were running on quite high speed, so that's probably why. We do have quite a few more soldiers now, so my hope is that we can actually beat it off without too many difficulties. I'm even using the soldiers, even though we don't have that many yet. Seems like they're similar sort of sizes before. They are stacked, so we'll see once they unfurl how many there are actually physically. And it seems like you can see them on the minimap as black dots, so that is kind of helpful when you know that. Your military also seem like black dots. Actually, all the people are. Okay. City deploy. Do sort of a pincer. Well, not really. As much of a pincer as you can really do with this combat. There are still quite a few enemies. I think we lost at least a couple of guys, yeah. Some of them might be wounded though. They might still survive. We might want armor soon as a thing. It's probably enemies. There's quite a few of them. Let's get at them. They're just running away now, I think. It's kind of annoying, they still kind of hang around the entrance quite a bit. We lost 3 soldiers. Okay, we'll definitely need the armor. It's just not what I want to do. But maybe after we get the block. We'll see. So, what about the city? They have everything. Just let them evolve then. Sauna and alcove are crowded. Yeah, I need a new alcove as well, that's what I thought. They will want a freaking plaza one day. Yeah, I think they will. Let's build this thing here. Yeah. They will want a plaza. Just, I'm not sure if we will have enough people to really do all this. Let's see. Let's put on a plaza here. I'm gonna start putting down housing. We don't want it to be insanely large, but one more would be fine. And just have the road like that. And I'm gonna relocate the noble, I think. This is not how I want it. You cannot relocate, so I'm gonna have to scrap him and just build him on the side here. Give him a road. Let it happen. These people will need their own services, but overall it should be positive for us to have this population space. Hopefully the market will get food. Seems like it does. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So they have everything they want at the moment. Yeah, it looks like the services are covering I think pretty well. Diversion, yeah. We've built a plaza, so once we get some nobles to actually do some singing, that should help. Flutists as well. Veldipper, yes. We'll do a Veldipper. And any collector, I feel like that would be good. Those are quite nice. The improved houses. I'll add something. Let's add a couple of stela for their desirability, or it's called ambience in this game. Let's get some stone roads going. We should have plenty of stone. There shouldn't really be an issue. And proper temple, I feel like Quetzalcoatl would be the best one. No, it's enlightenment. I need military. Huitzilopochtli, yeah. I'll need artwork as well, let's wait on that. But eventually we'll want a big temple. Need to tend to our nobles as well.
No.
They want a Veldipper. Gonna shift this hunter further. No. Why no? Needs access to clean water? Which means it's getting Veldipper, right? Yeah. They just want a proper water, like reservoir water, you know. I really don't want to give them that. I could, but the if you ever seen how big of a project it is, you understand why I don't want to do that. And Perspective Games told me that for the prosperity you shouldn't need clean water, so I'm just gonna make small nobles. I'm gonna just go the budget nobles way. Let's fight the bad people. Finding home at the crude hut. Yes, come quickly before you get destroyed. They want more religion. Is that correct? Yes. Okay, I'll have to build a temple. Huitzilopochtli. Let's build it. I will even give him a stone road. This is gonna be good for symmetry. We suffered no casualties, good. I didn't even watch the fight, but yeah, they got destroyed. We have enough troops now to really... They also throw javelins. I think there's like a certain number of people who fight at range and certain amount of people who fight at melee. So that was good. It's like javelin spam in Caesar. Improvements are under construction, nice. Let's let it happen. Need to take care of these people better. Oh yeah, artwork. I need a workshop for... Is it goldsmith? Yes. Let's put the goldsmith here. He's gonna collect money from the tax collector and mold it into artwork. I like the construction stages. Another attack, okay. It's very, very quick. Because we are playing on high speed, it's gonna happen very often. I still feel like it's maybe a little bit overtuned with the attack frequency, but... You know, it's a military map, it should have attacks, quite frequent ones even. I think we lost someone. It's probably our guy. They still are here. Let's redeploy. They're probably gonna get spooked and run away. Yeah. Okay. Disband our troops. This center post is overwhelmed with work. I'll add a new center post here. And those are some nice houses now. Large house. They'll want more ambience. We can arrange for that with some plaza or mosaics, as they are known in this game. Plaza is actually the entertainment structure. But still kind of call it that because Caesar. Okay, you cannot spam it like completely everywhere, you need to keep tiles in between. So that's why it's like this. We could go with a new gardener, actually. They can still walk through the gardens like in Caesar. I feel like getting these people a stone road would be good. So it does reflect ambience quite a bit. It needs pulk to operate smoothly. We do have pulk here, so they should be able to get it. They are evolving, that's good. Needs more religion. They will get religion. They'll get the biggest religion in town. Set up our defenses. I think it's okay to hold them here again. We could try the tower at this point. I just need to clear some fighting space. Oh yeah, if you destroy 3 sword rocks, it will yield you resources as well. So get some timber from this. It was quite a bit army from the enemy. I don't think they ran in. No, they're held off. Let's advance. Yeah, they are running away. Still under a unit in here, but they'll probably get spooked. Yeah. We lost 2 soldiers in the skirmish. Not ideal, but we can take that at this point, I think. Nice ramp. Important thing is people live closer to the mines now, so they can actually work there effectively without too many issues. They would want more clean water. What do you say, chat? Do we do it? Do we bring water? Do we do an aqueduct? The project will be massive, but we could do it with the resources we have, and it would evolve people, maybe even the nobles. These are actually improving. Alcove, do you not have alcove access? I guess not. I will provide them with that. They want ball court as well, which is insanely expensive. I need to figure out if we really want the water or not. Go forth into water, live there, die there. Death clock reference. That's head, nose, metallocalypse. Point taken. It is actually quite good. I like that song a lot. Gone are days of land empires. Yeah. I didn't watch Metalocalypse in a while. Like a long while. In high school, I watched it for the last time, I think. Lungs transformed to take in water. Yeah. Are you listening to that right now? That reminds me, Tlatoani currently has quite repetitive soundtrack, if you didn't notice. It's good, I like the music a lot, it fits very well, but it only has like very few tracks in it currently, so it will drive you clinically insane if you listen to it for prolonged periods of time. So listen to what Death's Head was mentioning. I'm pretty sure it's copyrighted, but who cares? Doesn't really matter to me much. I didn't hear it in a while. Yeah. There goes the bot audio, for sure. It's not like it matters. I would have to cut it extensively anyway, because the first part was borked, because we lost the save game. My younger brother loved Death Clock and owned all 3 Death albums. Really? I wasn't aware it is actually a thing. Like, I always treated it as kind of a meme. The Metalocalypse, it really drove it to extremes, as I'm sure you would agree. But maybe it's a real like band. It probably is. It's just ridiculous. Get some gardens. Let's get a gardener here. We should have Pulk for it. Just needs the employees to actually get it. I was also a big fan of the show. Yeah, the show was great. Oh, great. It's a bit cringe, but it's also very entertaining. Like 2 lead voice actors, Brendan Small and Tony Blanchard, performed for real with 2 other guys doing the voices from the show. Okay. It sounds ridiculous. I remember a lot of the episodes were just complete madness. Like, it's like South Park, where just like the most horrific thing you could imagine happens on a regular basis. Sweeper, okay. I think they are having trouble getting this Pulk, even though they should be able to get it. It's not a huge deal, I can get it to them. Pulk. This is a military map, so the civilization level is not that high to begin with, but we need population, which is gonna be something we need to think about. Bringing the water would minimize the amount of blocks we need to build, so that could actually be working to our advantage. Let's build Tlatoani, which is a school. We'll give them a sauna. And I'll start bringing the water over. Let's take a look. This one we would fill up. I want a cistern there. I want a cistern here. It doesn't work like in Caesar. You actually need it to have physical road access, and then from 8 tiles from it, it provides plumbing to actual services, like with bringing stuff over physically. So that's how that works. I'll need to fill in this swamp with chinampa. Let's build a road over and here so that they can have access. And let's start doing the aqueduct this way. Provide some access points as well. There's actually going to be a TV movie in the works to finally, after 10 years plus, finish the show's story. Oh yeah, I didn't remember, but it ends kind of strangely, doesn't it? But it's like, I feel like the early series are actually the best, like with most shows, like Rick and Morty as well. Like the first 2 seasons, I feel like are the best. My raiders. Oh yeah, we cleared the land for attacks. I didn't actually build the towers, which I wanted, but we are building the aqueduct, so military will have to wait. I think we can fight them reliably with what we have. I dropped Rick and Morty after being disappointed in season 3, yeah. It's still watchable, but it doesn't even scratch the surface of the first 2 seasons. And I'm not a huge TV show guy, but that show is special in more way than one, and not always in a good way. It's just, you know, not even my demented mind could come up with stuff that happens there. It's saying something. Let's move. There's still an enemy. Yeah, now he's gonna run off. We suffered no casualties. Good. So the chinampa takes a while. Let them do it. Another attack. Okay. I'm gonna speed it up a little bit until they engage. Yeah, it's a lot of them. I think we took some losses, most likely. I just want them to run off. I hope they didn't come into the city. No, it doesn't look like it. Okay, while Vagrant was lost in the skirmish, there was just someone who was coming to immigrate. Let's disband them. Let's take a look. Aqueducts are being built. It's just gonna take a while. It does take quite a few resources, so that's a thing. This is built. Second Mason's Yard would actually benefit us, I think. I just want to build it somewhere useful. Which, I guess we stick with one. We don't really need to. But problem is there are resources, we just don't have the masons do all the work as quickly as we would like. Okay, this guy, I'm gonna put him there. Seems like good enough place. We could go with the mason, yeah, okay, put it here. At least it's getting done quite quickly, I hope. Education venues are crowded. I know, we are building a new one. Yeah. It's gonna get cooed. Herbalist and dentist. Dentist is being built as well. Just need actual people to work here, yeah. This is built already, that's nice. I think we'll get water soon. It's already here. Makes sense, that is stone right here usually. That's kind of why. Yeah. They are building it. But with the food situation, it's not great. I could certainly use more. It's just awkward here. So that rock, I don't want to remove any of that. I guess I could have it here. That's the rock. Connect it like that. Again, this doesn't matter as much as in Caesar. These walkers are actually smart, I can't figure it out. Shillabads. Wasn't it one more? I think we can have one more tile. No, it's gonna be 4, 5, 6. Ah, whatever. Just put it in. It's gonna help us with chili and fruits. Herbalist is getting crowded. We'll build a new one. Another invasion. I'll deal with it, just herbalist first. I'm gonna put it here. Let's play some Caesar music. So, looks like we have a lot of money. It's good. Let's wait, hope that we don't get trashed by the raiders, but we should have enough soldiers. Redeploy. He's running for the city. No. Okay. Got stopped. Some of them are still hanging on the entrance. We'll have to just come at them. Will you run away? We lost one soldier and one captain. Not ideal, but considering how many enemies there were, I don't think we could have done much better. Okay, let's see how much population we can get. We definitely will need more people. It's already apparent, I just don't know where to put them, but something like this would work. Perhaps having another area here would be fine. Just now this is gonna be a bit awkward. I could reposition this Tlatoani. Just not have this house here. Instead have it here and then connect it up. Clean water. That did evolve our sauna and well dippers into basins and steam baths. Connect this. So what do they say? They have everything they want. Okay. Let's give them a bit of time. It needs a center post. We can build one. This is crowded still. We have a new herbalist, but it doesn't seem to be enough. Can I? Yeah, I can build a new one here. It might struggle to have access to herbs, we'll see. This is a fancy house. That's the best, like, commoner housing you can get. I'm quite happy with that. These people, on the other hand, they will still need to be tended to quite a bit. Veldipper. Alright, well, let's give them a Veldipper then. Gonna be building them a Veldipper here. And let's do a cistern as well. Hey, Blubber, welcome. Thanks for the raid. Hey, Nodolski, welcome. This channel belongs to Blubber. Yeah, the blob expands. But Blubber doesn't need any CBs against this channel. It has already been assimilated into the blob. Time for me to get the dinner. Well, no problem, Blubber. Thanks for the raid. I hope that you enjoy your nums. Let's get a gardener. And garden this place up. Sure, this isn't the game music. Oh no, it isn't. It is Caesar music, but Tlatoani actually doesn't have that many tracks. It has a couple, which they are all good. They all fit the game quite well, since it's Mesoamerican or, you know, Aztec game. But it's very repetitive after a while, since the game is still alpha. I guess the music isn't that high on the priority list, apart from, like, you know, you'd rather have actual things that contribute to the gameplay rather than spending time on developing or having more music. Eventually we will have... Are these walkers? Yes. It's a walker system game, like Impressions games. But they are actually smart. That's why you build stuff like this. You know, abhorrent things that would just murder your city in Caesar. The walkers here are actually smart. They will go where the service is required. Yeah. It's if you build a city like this in Caesar, you will die. It's just, you know, I don't usually do things like this in Caesar, not at all. So in here it's actually encouraged, because symmetry is beneficial for these, and the symmetry means having actual roads around your religious buildings and things like that helps. But we've managed to get fancy houses, which are the highest evolution of the commoner housing. So everything's working fine. This is a military map, so we get constantly attacked as well. These have everything they need. We'll give them a little bit of time to see. I still believe we will need more food though, that's pretty much a given. I just don't know where to put it. This isn't the greatest, but as long as it works, I'll just get some maize. Yes, this is enough. Let's build a canal. Let's get a road. Another attack. Split our guys into 2 groups. Let's see what happens. It's quite a few enemies. They are stacked, so they'll begin to spread out again. I think we'll kill them. Yep. Might take some losses. They're still around. Let's go and yeah, we lost 1 captain. Let's disband the orders. Everything they need, give them time. We need population to win the map. We need quite a bit of population, which means jobs as well. I have to come up with some jobs for people, which we can certainly use some more things. I just need to figure out what do we want. We could do armor. This would mean opening up a new trade route, which would buy more cacao. Which we could set that up here, I suppose. I need to take a look at the empire map. So that is Malinalco. They sell salt, which you need salt for the armor, and they would buy cacao and cotton. That's actually good. So let's start with some farms. I'm gonna do some cotton fields and cacao trees. Pause it. Canal, farm. Connected to the swamps. Put a road down. You'll use this road. And let's put down a trading post, which is a big chungus. Let's make cotton weavers and armorers. And again, do a little bit of road harassing. This is going to trade. We will open up the trade route to Malinalco already. 4,000 is a lot of money. Malinalco. We will be exporting cotton, importing salt, exporting cacao. And we'll accept some armor in here. And then we'll be getting some of that armor over here. Instead of this timber, we'll get some armor. So that will be needed for various other buildings as well, not just our barracks. This should provide enough jobs to attract enough people, hopefully. And I'm thinking bandits. We should be doing a granary and some more food, perhaps. Just gonna put this here and do some maize. Let's give them a bit of a canal. This should be connected to the swamps. This will accept maize. Quite a bit of it actually. Heavy service, intensive service on the collector. We'll definitely want a new one, which in here we will need one eventually. It's not a great space to have it, but let's put it here. Let's get a stela, and let's get some stone roads going for this area. So what about these people? Seems like they have everything they want, it's just taking them a while to evolve, yeah. These are already fancy houses. And we'll have jobs for everyone, hopefully. You'll see. Yeah, cotton. We'll get the cotton, it's just taking a while. These canals are not done yet, that's why it doesn't have water. We don't need to worry about the patricians too much. Or the patricians and nobles. Just keep enough of them around to run the city. Dentist. We could have a dentist here. Hopefully we'll have some cotton soon. And cacao to sell, make money, but more importantly make some armor for our troops so they will no longer suffer casualties sometimes. Because from time to time that does happen. More diversion. They want a new alcove. I could do that. We do have some space, right? Is that a good place to put it? These wouldn't get covered, so let's just put the alcove on the corner here. And we could do a shrine to Xoconochco. So our industry god. Maybe we could do Tlaloc as well, just the agriculture god. We should have enough stone and everything to build what we need. They want herbs. We should have them. It's just, yeah. Maybe we need a new gardener as well. Let's reduce the speed a little bit. Herbs. I will see if I need more housing, then we'll add a new one perhaps. For now, just keep it going. How many people do we have in the city? 3,200. Security venues are unstretched, are they? Is it the sentry posts? Maybe the garrison. No. I don't know what sweeper are crowded. Can we do service use? Overlay? Yeah, garrison is used heavily. And sweeper. We could use a new one. It's just where I want it as the question. I could have him there. It's not a huge deal. Plaza is getting used a lot. We need jobs anyway, so I'll be probably building a new one. It's massive, but yeah, we need it, so let's build one. What else was crowded? collector in there, garrison. I could do a garrison. Just need to figure out where I want it. In here would be fine, connected to the plaza and, or yeah, plaza, and what else did I want? A new noble, I guess. It's gonna be necessary, so let's keep some space. Stretch this road to accommodate for that. We can do a couple of commoner housing areas here. And just do something hideous like that. It's gonna work. It's a sentry post, that's the one that has problems. Let's put our sentry post here. We can do some some mosaic. That should help. See what happens. Need herbs. That should be fine. Just to believe it's gonna be fine. Another attack. Let's wait until they arrive. They're here. Still hanging around. You have to chase them off. Suffered no loss is good. Okay. Do you need a Veldiper or what's the problem? It should be doing that, it's just probably taking them a while to get that service access. Still lacking. Yeah, this needs employees. It's gonna happen soon enough. And we are making some armor. It's good. What are the population? 3,300. So 6,000 is a lot. But I think we still have space in the city, most likely. Well, not that much. We could focus on the nobles a little bit more. They want Kalmaka, which is like an advanced education building for nobles. Gonna build that, plus some of them wanted a sauna. Yeah, I'm gonna build a new one here, I guess. And I'm gonna provide them with a way to get here. Their services. See if that helps. To improve nobles. Sauna or a herbalist, yeah, you're getting that. Actually want a gardener here. Just pile in a whole bunch of gardens. On this, and a herbalist here. We need jobs anyway, so I'm willing to build some small gardeners here and there just to get some herbs this way. This hunter will get moved into the forest. This is gonna accept some meat. This can accept some cacao as well, if we have surpluses to this. Could grow a bit of chili here. And some fruit trees. This is gonna accept some chili in it. Consider building House of Song or Bowl Court. It's all, both are very expensive, but we need it. Entertainment is here. Bowl Court. It's absolutely massive. Okay. I want to build it somewhere where it doesn't really matter all that much. Like here. Gonna do a stone road. Bowl Court, you will get it. Sweeper. I'm gonna give these people a new sweeper, rather. Terrible symmetry, can imagine. As long as it works. Okay, it's actually functional, we just need workers. Looks to me we have plenty of space, it just need people to move in. It needs Amata. Can we import it? Jade. Magwe. Cloth. I'm gonna have to import it from Tenochtitlan most likely. It's gonna be expensive, but money is not an issue. Mainly we'll need a trading post, which is not preferable. Let's build it here and we will trade with Tenochtitlan and we will import Amata. 4 units should be enough. Nothing else from Tenochtitlan, they will rip us off. This would want a sauna, I just... Yeah, it's just not enough, it doesn't reach. So put a sauna here. I guess we can do a new well dipper. And we'll bring water here. Cistern like that. Let's get some roads. This should all help. Let's get some more commoners. Should have enough people to crew this soon, hopefully. Strained. They don't take another alcove already. We can do that. Another sweeper, okay. Fine. Should have the pop, we need jobs anyway. Otherwise people will not move in. And our main thing we need to achieve is the 6,000 pop. Needs access to more nutrition. Can we get a new market? Terrain is blocked, is it? Maybe it's because of that. It doesn't seem like it, but it probably takes another spot. It wouldn't get access to very many things though. So they should be getting... They should be getting everything they need, right? Actually not. Okay. Maybe if I remove that tree it would fit? It is a noble though, right? Yeah. Noble would not like this market being here. I can try to get this. I don't think it will get access to what it needs. No. We need a granary that's gonna funnel goods in here. So this is going to get maize, get some food, get some chili, get some meat, except some meat. Should be enough. Let's take a look at this. It is having some food in it. It's access to more healthcare, more nutrition. Just give it time. It also has quite a bit of food. Let's give them time. Lopocale is full. Build a new one somewhere, but doesn't interfere with much. This wouldn't really cover much at all. This would. It's not great because it's beyond that aqueduct, but it's not like it matters all that much. This will require timber, but I think it gets access to it. Yeah, it does have timber. It didn't evolve though, like this should evolve it. We can take a look at plumbing. Yeah, it has plumbing access. Maybe, I did see this once and it was some sort of bug, but we didn't manage to pinpoint it. I'm gonna try to give it more desirability and see if it helps. So it should evolve into a steam bath and a basin instead of well dipper and sauna. Yeah, and it doesn't really do that. Could do with Shrine of Tlaloc, I guess. As they say. Just gonna put down Stella. Was it an attack? I bet it was. Just misclicked that off. Fight. No, it was some sort of other event, I don't know what it was. But there are no enemies. Okay. This evolved, this didn't. I need to put it somewhere else and just hope that it does what I needed to do. It's just, where do I put it? So we do need it. I would have to remove some houses. I just, you know, just have it, it's fine. We have 4,000 people in the city. Can we see an advisor on our population? How much space is left? Housing for 149? So that's like housing left, I guess, for that's like 1,500 extra people. And yeah, so we just don't have jobs, if I read that correctly. Okay, let's get a new farm. Some maize and fruits. Plus, we could manufacture something here as well. Not sure what. Going to bed? Okay, no problem, that's it. Thanks for hanging out. See you around. Improvements are under construction. It didn't help that we gave it desirability. Cotton we were doing. Yeah, we could get them cotton. We do have this, so I could just get it, I guess. Where is cotton? Get for exports. I'm not sure if we have enough really, but we should. Yeah, there is some cotton here. And armor, a lot of it actually. So we are not using all that much of it, I don't think. Abysmal symmetry. Sweeper. Gonna put it here. Need some other jobs. I'm gonna do a couple of sawyers. Let's get a porter stop that's gonna accept some timber. Gonna do a clay pit. We'll accept some clay in here. Can do a kiln. Pottery. Should mean more jobs, hopefully. Be making us save 9,000 days in here. It's a lot. I think the attack stopped completely, which is actually welcome. I think we've proven at this point we can beat any attack off, so it's good. We don't have to constantly micro that. It's a lot of fancy housing. These need more food. That shouldn't be a big issue. Just, yeah, fruits. Could use more fruit. This is getting overwhelmed, which is circuited center post. We can add another one somewhere. Here. Have one. At the center here. Let's add it to the end. I would like another cloth weaver. It's just this place generally is quite crowded, but let's add one. $4,400 pulp. You'll need more. I think there is still space in the city. Yeah. I really would rather not build a new block if I could help it. We'll see if this solves itself. Some of them are still evolving, which is good. Access to more nutrition, that shouldn't be a problem really, but it is. So sentry posts are still getting overwhelmed with work. I'm just gonna add another one. We have labor. Suppose we could add them a library. The patricians will want it. Patricians, nobles. Yeah, they want cotton. Should be getting it here. Not here. Can we reduce? Yeah, reduce the pottery a little bit. They should get it. There's no getting on the trade post, but should be fine. We could also add just porter stop. Just going to get cotton. Actually, I could use some more pottery. Let's take a look at clay pits. Let's make a kiln or two. Then we'll need porter stop. It's gonna accept pottery in it. Should be more jobs. It's a dentist. That's full. Need to add a new one. I'll just add it instead of one of these. Should hopefully solve it. Population is still growing, so that's good. They still want cotton. I did bring it somewhere. It's this one, yeah. It's just we didn't have enough of it, I guess. No, there is a bunch here. Maybe it just takes them a while to get it. And then maybe the market is not getting it properly. Yeah. Seems like that might be the case. Okay, they evolved. But the nobles are not the issue, we just need commoners, I guess. Would be the best way to get more people in the city. They want furniture. I can't really get that to them easily. Instead, just building a new area would be better. I feel like. Just need 1300. Where do we do it? We could do it here, and then use this for farming more. It will require quite a few goods, unfortunately, but we can probably deal with it. Gonna start with stone roads already. Do the regular design. We start with which block usually it devolves into just mass later, but it's good to start with something resembling an actual place. Add this, make it wider. Let's add this. Let's get a sweeper. You want a developer. I'm not gonna give these people aqueduct water most likely, but on the off chance we want to, I'm gonna add it on the side. So eventually we might do it if we feel like it. We will need a porter yard. So okay, this 100 is kind of in the way of everything. Let's make a stone road. They want so many things. Zepto attack, shrine. Could also do a shrine to Quetzalcoatl, so it isn't angry. Developer, I'm building it. It's just gonna take a little while. Give them locale. give them an alcove. Hopefully, yeah, this is getting access to that. But we will definitely need more food over here. Except some chilies, some fruits, some meat. I'm gonna do chili. Some fruit. Gonna do just pure maize for this one. Irrigation. This should help. They're improving. Let's give them time. Pottery is nearby. It has everything it needs. This will need timber. I'm gonna give them a pottery yard. It's gonna get some timber. What else do they want? Cloth. I don't have enough of that. I'm not sure if I want to give them that. Might just keep them at this scrubby level. It doesn't seem to be impacting the prosperity too much. Just need a population, really. And our production for cloth is in here, and I don't think it's too plentiful. For it, but let's try to get them some pulp and cloth. Maybe it's fine. They're still improving. Good. It's medium cottages. Yeah, cloth. Now they will get it. It's 5,000 pop. Could definitely use more. Let's put down some fruit trees, chili beds. Got all that. Does everything it needs. Let's give them a little bit of time. I'm gonna give them a herbalist or two. So we can give them a herbalist, or it's a gardener. Let's give them a herbalist and a dentist here. They'll want a security post, they have that already. Sweeper seems to be adequate. I'll need barracks, but I don't want to build a second barracks, that would not be reasonable. This doesn't really have that much people in it, in the block. Let's take a look. Yeah, we have the space, just actually having enough jobs will be a bit of a problem for us. The barracks might actually be good for that reason. I will build them the barracks. But I also get weapons and armor here. Same for this barracks, it doesn't actually have armor. I'm gonna... Oh, we need both of these things here. Could go for a porter stop here. This will get armor. Because we do have plenty of it. Some weapons as well. It's just not getting where it needs to go reliable enough, so let's do that. Barracks should give us some jobs. Could go with another shrine. Collector, oh yeah, I'm not collecting taxes from them. Need to do that. Let's put it here. Everything new is a job, so it's good. The barracks is having weapons and everything. Collector, we are building it. They have everything they want. Needs access to a sweeper. Let's build a new sweeper then. I'm thinking about industry, but I don't know what to add and where. Could do with a new goldsmith, I guess. Gonna add a new hunter as well. Maybe 2 hunters. Let's make a save. 11,000 days. It's insane how quickly the time goes. Improvements are under construction. Okay. Should get some nice houses here. Needs furniture. We can get some of it, I guess. I only have 2 workshops for it. I could add a new one. Just around here would be okay. Yeah. Another one would be good. If these sawyers get a little bit inefficient because of lack of trees, it's fine. We have source of timber elsewhere. It doesn't matter all that much. So we are making timber here as well. Population is slowly rising. Security venues are overstretched. Not sure which ones are really the cause, but okay. Some nice houses. They would want clean water. They're not gonna get clean water. That would be unreasonable to get for this small amount of people. I might need just jobs to pile people in the city. I just need to figure out what to do. Go with some more cotton weavers, I guess, and maybe replace this with a bit of cotton. And I'm gonna go ahead and make some extra sawyers over here. Couple of extra clay pits. Some sawyers. Get some kilns. Porter stop, accept some pottery. Just need jobs. $5,700 people, need 300 more. I'll build a new shrine. Is there something else we could do? House of Healing, but that requires clean water. I don't really have easy way to place that anywhere. Gonna add some cotton in here. Gonna do some cotton weavers. Another porter stop. Get some cotton. Should be more jobs. These people. We need even more. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to make anymore. We just added so many superficial things already. Just gonna have more, I guess. More of this. I cannot make furniture without obsidian, so I don't really want to add more obsidian things, but this will help. Getting some more timber. Just gonna do some kilns. Do another clay pit. Something you can easily get. Hopefully we are gonna be there soon. Yeah, we need like 40 pot. Alcove is crowded. Is that anyone? Should help. Need 20 people. Bell dipper is needed. Security post is needed. I think sweepers should be fine. Sauna. Okay. Governor promoted. The Emperor is sufficiently impressed that he has chosen you for promotion and new assignment within the Empire. Should you accept that is well done. Okay. So you managed to get a city. Overall, this map felt like you actually use more of the terrain, which is good. Still, only 3 quarries for stone overall. Very used. I like that the rocks are closer now, at least for the start. You don't have to immediately rush for the far side, which is not very good for you. Now, I only built 1 big temple, which is a bit of a shame. Also lower level patricians than usual, but overall good. I like the map. The attacks were slightly too frequent at times. But apart from that, I think I enjoyed it. So, anyways, that's gonna be it for Tlatoani. We'll be playing some Caesar in the evening. So if you want to watch that, you can watch that at 20. So it's 8. I'm gonna send you off on a raid. I'm gonna have to see if there's anyone online. It doesn't seem like it. So I'm just gonna call it here. So anyways, thanks for watching. See you around. Bye.